Ari Mac. Thank you so much for joining me today on Manifesting with Ari Mac. We got a lot to cover. Now, today's episode is going to be about the three signs that the universe is preparing you for a major breakthrough. But before I begin, I want to go over some astrology, do a little housekeeping so you know how I get these insights and suggestions. We have the Sun in Gemini. Happy birthday to all my Geminis. You are the communicators of the universe. Without you, the world would be a lot dull, be very, very boring. So thank you, Gemini, for all that you do. Now remember, Mercury shares that planet with you with Virgo. So Virgos, you're also getting a little extra kiss from the Gemini side, but it's more airy. Okay, so the Sun is in Gemini. The Moon right now is in Leo. Mercury is in Gemini as well. So there's two Gemini planets. Venus is in Cancer. Now, this is very interesting because it makes us want to get more homey, more nurturing, and more loving. So it takes that Aries fire and makes us more relaxed. Makes a lover, not a fighter. Then we have Mars in Taurus, very earthy, very grounding, particularly like that. Then we have Jupiter in Cancer. So we got Venus in Cancer and Jupiter in Cancer. That's really sweet. That's a lot of the water that's of nurturing and caring and really makes you think about your long-term goals, especially with family, friends, and lovers. Okay? Then we have Saturn in Aries. Now, Saturn is the taskmaster. Being in Aries gives you that extra discipline. So it's discipline, focus, action that brings to play. Then you got Uranus and Gemini. Now, this is a big one. This is big because Uranus normally rules Aquarius. And being in its sister sign of Gemini, it gives it that extra kick, that extra communication. I expect innovations and technologies, just a really good opportunity for growth in the communication technology capacity. And then Neptune is in Aries, which is also one of those signs that for our dreams to take action, we have to initiate. And Neptune in Aries gives us that fight. And then Pluto, lovely, lovely Pluto, the hidden planet behind the scenes, rules Scorpio, is in Aquarius, and it's going backwards. So yeah, you're going to be doing some retrospecting for my Aquarius. You're going to be feeling a lot more deeper, a lot more sensitive due to this energy that's making you go way deeper inside of yourself than you normally prefer. Now, for the Scorpio side of this, your innovation is off the chain, Scorpio. You have clever ideas, insights, just things that no one could tell you and you just figure it out. So that's the blessing, okay? Now, in order for all this energy to work, before we get into the three things that you know, the universe has got something huge planned for you, you have to go back to the basics of what I've always suggested. You need to make sure you're eating right, okay? Make sure you're getting your fruits and vegetables in on a daily basis. Okay. Banana, carrot, all that happy stuff. Okay. Sleep. 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night will keep you in a good mental space. You won't sit back and stay in an argument because you can think, you can relax, you can make choices. Okay. Affirming. Meditation. If you're not affirming for something positive, I have an example here in a little bit, then you're affirming for something. Think about it. Okay, before you so quickly respond to everything, take a moment to think about what am I asking for in my life? What am I affirming to? What is the universe trying to tell me? Okay, if you can follow those basic steps and drink your water, oh my goodness, I can't emphasize enough how this little thing could do wonders for your mental disposition. In fact, I'm gonna take a sip while I'm talking to you. Now, I don't just walk the walk, so when I'm telling you these things, I'm also applying them to myself. All right. And this particular configuration is telling us we have to go inward so that we can go outward, which means as your breakthroughs happen, you have to understand what you're asking for. I'm going to say that again. As the universe hears your prayers, here's your wishes, here's your meditations, you have to be ready for the changes that you're asking for. Okay? And some of those changes will be cool because maybe you're ready to let go of some things. And some of those changes may not be so cool because you're still holding on for whatever reasons. These are not bad things. We're human. The whole purpose of life is to learn and to enjoy the quality of your existence. But in order for all that to happen, you have to create that energy within yourself to receive. You have to be open to new ideas, new inventions. It doesn't mean you give up tradition. You actually enhance tradition. Okay? We traditionally have holidays every year in all countries all over the world. Every year they're a little bit different. Every year they grow a little bit, but they always go back to the tradition of what's intended. Now, guys, I know it's not easy walking this planet sometimes. I hear things that upset me and make me feel very, very sad because, well, that's life and sometimes you can't control it. But what I can control is my prayers, my affirmations, how I treat my physical body. And that's where true power lies. See, once you get your mind in order and your spirit together, nothing can stand in your way. Nothing. And I know because I've seen it. An example I will give is one of my clients who had a lot of heartbreak, guys. A lot of heartbreak. But she kept doing her affirmations and she kept focusing on her end goal, which was to be in a healthy, happy relationship with the man who loved her and wanted her to be a part of his life. She also has kids, so she's not a single person. She had 3 or 4 kids with her. So that made her have apprehensions, right? Because, you know, when you have children, you want to be a good example, but you also don't want to bring people around that don't treat your children well. So that was a big factor for her. And she was afraid that maybe because she had so many kids and she had been through a divorce, that maybe she's not as polished. Maybe she deserves less than. But we did a lot of work on her affirmations and her meditations, and there was a lot of changes. Because the first sign that you got some breaks coming is what you're affirming to, but things no longer align. That is the very first sign that the universe is hearing your prayer. She was praying for a healthy, happy, long-term relationship with somebody who really got her, understood her, and wanted to be with her. That was the task. Now, if this is resonating with you, give me a thumbs up. And let me know where you guys are. Like, what city, state, or country that you guys are at right now. Because I am in awe. I am always in awe when I'm here on TikTok Live because it gives me a chance to do so much interaction. And some of you guys I do know, and some of you guys I don't. But definitely, definitely, definitely welcome to Manifesting with Ari Mac. Okay? So when you're doing your affirmations and you're asking for your prayers, okay, things are going to start aligning up with what you're praying for. That's the first sign. Now, of course, when it starts aligning, there will be changes. You will have to let go. Things that used to be comfortable won't be as comfortable. You may have some disconnects. You may even have some blocks now because you used to maybe accept bad behavior without question, and now you're questioning it. Now, for example, with my client, she wanted a healthy, happy relationship that would end in marriage because she wanted to get married again, but with a man who wanted to have a family, who wants to be with the family and understands the value of family. That's a tall ask, especially when your heart is not even sure if you can pull it off. Well, she did pull it off. Yes, she dated a few frogs, and yes, she had to go through some emotional upheavals because some people seem really, really good on paper, but when they actually connected, it wasn't the right fit. That makes sense? It just wasn't the right fit. They just didn't work out, and she felt bad because for the first time in her life, she was rejecting someone because they didn't meet her emotional needs. That's huge, guys. That's huge. And how many of us stay in situations because we're comfortable or we feel like this is the best we can get? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if this is resonating with you, if this is making sense to you. Am I connecting with you? And you can do the chat on the rebroadcast as well because I do live this up and this will be available in a day or so. So when you are no longer aligning with what you've been asking, you're no longer aligning because you've been asking and praying for change, that's your first sign because it's got blocks. It's uncomfortable and things don't run as smoothly because you're praying for change. You're affirming for change. So you're going to get it. The universe is going to answer you, but not in the traditional way that you believe it should be answered. That's why it's important to be very open-minded to the energy around you because you never know when the universe is going to speak to you. So if you're doing your affirmations and prayers and you're starting to run into blocks, I want you to stop and look around to see what openings are available. All right? Because just because one thing is closed, there's always another door that opens. That's a fact. But we have to be receptive to that open fact. Okay? Now, in order for us to change, oh my goodness, this thing is always trying to get me to do stuff. It told me to put something up, and I'm like, no. Anyway, so that's number one. When the universe is aligning with you, there's going to be uncomfortableness. There's going to be some blockage. You may not feel as comfortable in certain circumstances anymore. And I personally think you just kind of lower the tolerance for the dumb shit. You just no longer can say, you know what? I'm okay with that. Because you're not. Now, with my client, she did go through a lot of frogs, and she finally met the man that really dug her, and they really dug each other. Hi, Lily. How you doing? But they had to get to know each other. And that's time, guys. That's just time. Walks on the porch. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Where are you hitting me from, Lily? What city, state, or country are you from? Now, as they got to doing what they do, you know what she did, guys? She took him to the laundromat with her. Because she has 3 kids, and she didn't have a laundromat in her apartment. It broke or something. So once a month or once a week, I can't tell you when, she would actually go to the laundromat and spend a whole afternoon folding, drying, a whole night. She told him what she was doing, and he told her he wanted to go. Guess what, guys? They spent the whole afternoon chit-chatting, talking over laundry. And she said that was the deciding point for her, that he was the right person. Now, the second sign that your situation, that the universe is hearing you, is you're being redirected. You're being redirected. Like literally, you think you're going to go one place, one direction, and then something comes in that you did not foresee, couldn't have thunk it, and it puts you in a different direction. That's the universe answering your prayers. Sudden changes in unexpected ways that you personally could have never even dreamt of. And they're usually better. If you're really paying attention to yourself and what you're saying, then you should actually feel a smooth transition, even though you're a little nervous. Because you do have a little anxiety when you're going through transformation. That's why aromatherapy is so good. I offer affirmations, aromatherapy, and astrology, because those 3 things can ground you, center you, and keep you focused. Okay, so for aromatherapy, if you have a favorite scent or something that brings you joy, won't you try that when you're doing your prayers or you're doing your affirmations, meditations? Just have it going on in the background. If you notice with a lot of meditation centers, they have a lot of sandalwood incense going. Well, sandalwood's a very calming scent. It actually puts the receptacles in your brain at ease. Yeah. Because they feel like there's no danger. And that's what you want when you're trying to connect with yourself and create what you want in your life. All right? So when sudden changes are happening, that's your second sign that your prayers are being answered. Hey, Tricky Ties. Thanks for following through. Appreciate. Guys, don't forget to let me know what city or state or country that you're popping in from. I am always curious and fabulously intrigued. Okay? Now, of course, going back to my client, she found this gentleman. He has kids. It's fitting. Okay? Both their lives are centered around their work and their families. They now are doing chores together. Oh, America. Cool, cool, cool. Okay? And they're bonding. And their kids are bonding. So things are looking good. The third thing that you have to consider or pay attention to when the universe is giving you a major breakthrough is your intuition is off the chain. It's not fear. It's not fear. It's your gut screaming at you about doing things. Okay? And I'll give you the example. My client lost her job. For whatever reasons, it just went bye-bye. This gentleman and her were dating. Well, she wanted to take a break from dating because she lost her job and she needed to go through job interviews and she just didn't want to put him through all that. And he said, well, that has nothing to do with that. I don't mind. And she was like, well, we'll see. Well, in between times, she started doing DoorDash. And things got a little tight, but she kept working. And he noticed that. And he says, I really respect the way you're handling yourself, and I want to be of service. And she says, well, I'll see what happens. Guys, this past Mother's Day, I'm going to jump to the end of the story because I am so impressed. Her car broke down about a week before. Do you know that this man bought her a brand new 2026 Toyota Corolla Prius? And he did it from the kindness of his heart. They're working out some arrangements on something. But the bottom line is, he did it for her because she needed a car. He didn't want her worrying about getting to and from. And with the gas prices being so high, he got the most fuel efficient car possible so she can take care of her family and take care of herself. She cried to me when he shared this with her, and she's still in awe. And he did this out of pure love. And her intuition told her that he loved her. Her intuition said that this man is way stronger and way more committed than I've ever had in my life. Even her ex-husband wasn't this good to her. And he proved it. But her intuition told her to love him. Her intuition told her to trust him. And she was hesitant, but she was quiet. And she was still. And she trusted. Now, when you get into yourself, and with Uranus sitting in Gemini right now, and Pluto being in Aquarius, it's retroing. I'll talk about that later. Your intuition is yelling at you. It is screaming at you about what needs to be done and what you can tolerate. Please pay attention to that. Right now, we're on the edge of so many positive things happening in this world, but we have to keep our boundaries together. Okay, it's like anything. You got to pace yourself because it's the little bitty steps that the universe gives you to push you to the big steps. And it is scary. I'm not going to lie to you. When you leave a comfort zone, it's nerve-wracking because a comfort zone guarantees security, safety, familiarity, all that fun shit. But when you're affirming and you're praying and you're asking for more, you can't sit where you are anymore. And the universe knows that. So they don't talk directly to us. They create circumstances and situations around us that we call coincidences. We think, oh, that's interesting. Now, I've told you guys before, things happen to me in threes. And if I hear the same song 3 times in a row within a 24-hour window, usually the universe is talking to me because it doesn't happen that often. All right? The signs come, but you may not be paying attention. Does that make sense? That owl agrees with you. Okay, Steve, I don't know what it is about this owl. People always ask me, it's a piggy bank. It's a piggy bank. I've had that thing for years. One of my kids gave it to me. Oh my goodness. So, sorry, Steve, that was a good laugh. Oh my goodness. So, I needed to laugh. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. But what I'm trying to say as a spiritual life coach, when I see these kind of configurations from the universe, everybody's going to get a memo. It's like mail. Everything goes out. But do you read it? Do you pay attention to it? Or you just throw it in the trash? Okay? I mean, it's up to you. Sometimes junk mail in between, there's something very important, and you don't see it because you're so busy just trying to toss stuff that you may have tossed that little thin envelope with that check in it for like $100,000. That kind of thing. So when the universe is giving you breakthroughs, yeah, it'll feel like a breakdown. I ain't gonna lie to you. In some cases, depending on where you start, you can feel very overwhelmed. Very, very overwhelmed. David, you a witch? Do I look like a witch? I think I'm very pretty. I think I'm very smart. But witch? That's such a Hollywood term. I really think Hollywood gave people way too many examples and we just subconsciously accept that as being normal. But anyway, so when the universe is talking to you, when the universe is hearing your prayers, do you know the answer? Do you recognize these breakthroughs? You can put it in the chat. Do you feel that sudden change? Are things going in a different direction? Is your intuition talking to you? And if it is, do you know what it's saying? Aw, thank you, Steve. Steve's got my back. Definitely subscribe, okay? Make sure you're subscribing and following, okay? Because my goal is to create positive energy down here, to give people a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose. Astrology can give that to you because when you look at your chart, you guys, you have your roadmap. See, astrology is like a roadmap. And you can look at the stars yourself. I'm not making this up. And each of those constellations rules a certain energy. And when you look at your birth chart, like the chart that when you came down here, this your longitude, your latitude, the day, time, all that stuff, it gives you your map. Now, you don't have to follow this map, just so we're clear. You could do whatever you like. Free will is upon us. All right. So do not feel like you have to walk a particular path. But what I will say is if situation keeps presenting itself to you, okay, if you go through the same thing over and over again, then there's something you're doing that is in drawing that to yourself. Okay. Now that's scientific. If something keeps happening over and over again to you and you can't explain why, then that's something you need to explore. Okay. Because it's not a victimization as much as a vibrational energy that you may have to consider either curtailing, saving for particular groups, okay, family, close friends, or get rid of altogether if you feel like it's a detriment. So what is it that you're trying to attract? I'm asking. What would you like to see manifest in your life? Where are the goals and aspirations sending you? Do you know? Do you care? Do you want to grow? Now, most people do want to grow in general. Now, we do have a couple of cray-crays that don't want to do shit. Totally fine. Once again, they can stay in whatever mental situations they like. And it's not against the law. It's not. But if you want change, just keep in mind that there are people probably within your circle that do not want change, that will not support you in your changes. Okay? I just want to put that out there. Because as soon as you start making a vibrational change around you, that's why you're not aligned anymore. That's why that's number one when the universe is giving you a breakthrough. You just don't align with the same nonsense, the same bullshit. You just can't because you never believed it in the first place. And now that you're affirming and praying and other doors are opening, you're going to run into ill support. You know, like the lady I talked about, my client in the future, her family actually wanted her to stay with her ex-husband. And she decided to leave because of things that he was doing. Now, the family still brings him around, encourages them to be together. And that was one of the reasons she had a hard time dating. Because no new boyfriend or new friend wants to come to your house and see your ex sitting on the couch. I'm sorry, it's just not the way. Even if they have a good relations, it could be very weird. Considering her ex was very territorial. He had a lot of Taurus in his chart. So he felt like he owned her or something because she had children with him once upon a time. But he was no longer married to her. He did not have complete financial control over her anymore, and that was the challenge. Well, stick around, David. I'm talking about the 3 signs that the universe is offering breakthroughs. Okay? 3 signs. Now, I'm spiritual life coach, Ari Mac. I don't predict the future. I help you plan it using my techniques in astrology, affirmations, and aromatherapy. Now that's what I'm talking about, David. Does that sound like something you want to hear? Anywho, so as your intuition grows and you get more confident, you're going to push away unnecessary bullshit because you no longer can entertain it. You don't even get upset by it. You just start going, okay, and you scurry right along. Why? Because you're not going to give your energy away. You're not going to give your power away to something that's not going to give to you. And that should be the golden rule. If you're doing the best that you can, treating people with respect and dignity, because that's all you can do, and you're not getting that in return, you need to check that. That's energy out of balance. You're giving, and you're not receiving. And I see that sometimes in romantic relationships, where one person wants to be the best they can be and they're perfect. And it sometimes is the woman, but it can be the man. I'm not saying men don't go through this as well, because I think they do. But when you're giving too much of yourself away, it starts feeling depleted and you get angry and frustrated, and you guys know the rest. So when the universe is giving you your signals, you have to pay attention to that, because otherwise you're going to be going, I don't know. You can only say I don't know so many times before it sounds like you don't want to know. Like you're choosing to put your head in the sand and hope everything works out. That's not the way the universe works. We're in co-creation. Yeah. All right. I'm not going to say you're going to wave a wand and things are going to instantly change. But I do know that once you decide you don't want to do something anymore, you send a ripple through your universal energetic force that is no longer acceptable. And that particular energy starts vexing you. It starts becoming a problem. And usually the other individual or situation feels the same. Now, example of that is when we're in our workspace. Say you work at a fast food restaurant, very concise, very tight. One person doing fries, another person doing hamburger, another person doing something else, and y'all all have to converge at one point to get that order done. Now, you didn't pick personalities when you started work. You just went in. But you had to figure out to interject yourself, do what you were paid to do, and keep moving. Well, that's the same thing with energy, guys. It's the same thing when you're manifesting. You have to go in, which means dealing with competition, repetition, and other people's energy. But when you go into a job, your end goal is to get paid. Your end goal is not to have friends. Your end goal is not to like build a family relationship. Your end goal is to get compensated for the time that you're given. So any relations that you develop at work should be bonus. They should be gravy. It should be a benefit. But what happens in the workforce? Personalities start coming up, workflow challenges individuals. And if you stick around long enough, you start seeing why things work the way that they do. It's the same thing with manifesting. Same thing. You're asking for what you want. Now, I always say ask for your health first, because being healthy is priceless. If you can get up without anybody helping you, if you can breathe without a machine, and your mind is clear because you can make better choices, okay, then you are healthy. You are rich, and you're leading towards success because you got up. And you can get up again. And I'm going to say this also. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of the learning curve when you start something new. Relationships, jobs, school, whatever. Because as soon as you start something new, guys, your mind and body has to regulate to what it needs to do to maintain that energy. Does that make any sense? And there's things in our lives that we use as stability points, like a stable household, a decent job, family that actually works with you, cares for you, friends who encourage you to be the best that you can be. And you have to create those support groups, guys. That's why hobbies and volunteering is so important, because doing that, you get a chance to see things from a different perspective, things that you may not consider because you're in your own world, right? But when you volunteer and go in to help, just to help, you hear other people's voices, and they're not inside your head. You actually hear a perspective that you may not have considered. And that is what keeps us as humanity, that keeps our humanity in order. It's very easy to get comfortable by yourself. It's a lot more difficult when you're dealing with a group of people. But if you are comfortable with self, really, really comfortable and doing your affirmations and doing your work, then when you're in a group or crowd, it shouldn't have that much of an effect on you. Shouldn't. Because you're secure with what you're bringing to the table. And that's how you know the universe is loving on you. That's how you know the universe is moving you toward where you want. I'll give another example. I was at the grocery store a couple of days ago. A lady came behind me. I had like maybe 3 items, something like that. And she was obviously trying to be in a hurry. So I let her go ahead of me. Not because I thought that I was doing a good deed. I could just look at her and tell this woman, this mom, had 2 bushels of groceries. And I honestly could go back and buy something else. I was not in a hurry. Now, some people were like, well, you could have done it anyway. I could have, but I saw duress in this lady's physical body when she walked toward me. And I didn't need to add to her duress. So when I said, hey, you can go ahead, I'll come back. You know what she told me? I'll hold your place in line. I said, thank you, sweetheart. But that's okay. I'm going to take a minute. Then no animosity. She didn't come with the attitude toward me to move. I just knew looking at that lady that she had a rough day. And she had a lot of stuff going on. And if she can get out of this grocery store a little bit faster, and I was not in a hurry, what big deal is that? Didn't cost me anything, and it made her feel good. If you can do things like that in your life, because those are random acts of kindness that doesn't cost you anything but a smile, a little time, and a little consideration. Imagine how better our world would be. I don't know if you guys remember the story about the emperor has no clothes. Literally, they psyched out the king, whatever, I don't know all the details. He got to a point he's walking down the street butt ass naked. That's one thing I remember about the book. And I asked my grandma, why didn't nobody tell him? Well, guess who told him? It was a child that said the emperor has no clothes on. And everybody else had to agree because it was the truth. How many times have you walked around not even aware that all your assets are hanging out? Like the lady behind me who walked up, didn't say a word. She was not talking to me, but I could feel her distress. I could feel her anxiety. And it was not a problem for me to give her that extra little minute so she can go ahead and keep her day moving. See, that's what the universe starts doing because we're all instruments of divine order and divine energy. But you have to be comfortable flowing with that energy first with yourself so that you can flow with others. And coincidentally, when I did get back in line at the grocery store, there was nobody there. I got out in record number time because everybody had already did their thing. And I wasn't really busy and I wasn't moving quickly. So you see how that harmony came into being? That simply because I was relaxed, did not take anything personal, the universal flew and boom, she got what she wanted, I got what I wanted, and everybody was cool. That's how you know when you're in universal flow. That is your clear sign that things are moving in your direction because it's smooth. There's not this bump in the road and anxiety because it feels right. And your intuition, guys, it comes once. Just for the record, you get one real good shot of don't do something. And it's not dramatic like they do in the movies, like the brimstone, the lights. Ah! No. It's subtle. It's very soft. And if you're paying attention, it's going to come to you in more than one way. Because that's how the universe speaks to us. Now, I told you for me, it's threes. When I see something happen 3 times, I was born in the 3rd month. That's my cue. It's also the trilogy, Father, Mother, Son, all that good stuff. So for me, seeing 3s guarantees I'm good. And I got to tell you, 100% of the time, they're right. Now, I may not always make the perfect choices, but the energy's there, and it's my choice to make. So don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't be afraid of doing things you've never done before. That's how we learn. I can tell you this much, the more you try, the better you become, the better quality of your life. Because you're living it. You're in the moment of enjoying yourself. You are in the throes of life and not sitting there talking about, I want more money and I don't have. Because let me tell you something about affirmations. They have power. And they can take you wherever you want to go. But I had an example of a real close friend. And she was, always do her affirmations, always do her prayers, always do her meditation. But what she didn't tell me, and I observed her doing, and as soon as she finished doing her prayers, she would say something like, yeah, if it happens. Okay? And that's the problem. Okay? Because, hold on, David. I got something for you. Hold on. Let's just go ahead and remove you. And David, you don't have to, you do not have to talk or deal with me anymore. How about that, Dave? You just go ahead and go on about your life and enjoy your quality of existence, okay? Because I'm obviously not for you. Because somebody to get here on this channel and say something silly, and it's not even constructive, it's just mean. It's just me. And you don't have to be mean. There's enough people in this world to have cruelty. You do not have to try to give me yours. So bless you, David. Keep right on moving. And please don't follow me. Just ignore me, okay? It'd probably be best for both of us. So when the universe is giving you signs, like my sign was to make sure this David gentleman is deleted from my channel because he's not nice. And nor does he want to be nice. And I don't care. He has a right to his opinion. I'm here for those who want to hear me, those that are listening, and those that are not, okay. And that's the energy you have to take. Now, I do have a program, and it's called The Gap, the Guided Astrology Program. And it's something I've been developing for the last 15 years with my clients. Now, everybody can afford me on an hourly basis, but I can still get you the information because I do astrology on a day-to-day basis. I look at charts all day long. And basically, oh, D, thanks. You like my owl? Okay, cool. Basically, in this weekly informational guide, and it's a Zoom link, you get insight about what's going on with the planets, what's going on with the signs, affirmations, aromatherapy. And what I really love is I can pick the best dates for you to take advantage of. Now, the best dates is what I do for my clients on a personal level. We look at their charts and we plot out what days is best for them to, manifest, or if they have a presentation, ask for a raise, all that good stuff. Because you always have challenging days, but you also have days when the universe is kicking you some major love and you need to take advantage of those. That's all included in the gap. Now, I do have an intro price of $9.99, so you can try it for 30 days and, experience it. It's, like I said, it's through Zoom, so you can get to watch it at your leisure, and it's yours to keep. Now, if you decide to continue past the 30 days, it's $20, $29.99 a month. And I did that intentionally so that any and everybody that would like to have information, have inspiration, because as a spiritual coach, that's my goal. You can have it at a very affordable price on a monthly basis, less than $10 a week. So definitely check out my GAP program. I think that you would appreciate it. Now, inside the GAP, you also get access to classes this month, which will be on the 30th of this month. I think that's next Saturday. I'm going to be doing Astrology Basics 101. Now, this is all for the GAP family. It's not open to the public yet. I'm working on some details with it. But as a GAP member, you get a chance to come in and I break down the signs, the elements, the houses. I give you information about how astrology works and how it can benefit you. That's free, and that's included in the classes. Now, we also have a mindful guided meditation class, which I also supervise. This is all through Zoom. Now, that is a standalone class. It's been doing it for about 15 years. And that's twice a month, usually the second or fourth Sunday, but sometimes during the holidays, I may go the fourth and fifth, just depends on the month. And that's available also. Now, you can check all this stuff up at candlesbyari.com. Now, that's my website. It's got a lot of information, a lot of free reports, free affirmations, the free monthly I do each month for the whole sign, for every single sign and element for the month. And it does have affirmational suggestions, and it also has aromatherapy suggestions. It does not have the best dates because that's personal, and that's for people whose birth chart that I have access to. And the GAP members usually do give me access to their birth chart so I can review it and include it in my information. Yeah? So definitely check that out. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe here. Okay, so we're going to recap the 3 signs the universe is preparing you for a major breakthrough. Number 1, you're no longer in line with the stuff that you used to be. Now, this is, of course, because you're doing your affirmations and your prayers and you want change. You're putting the energy behind it, so the universe is asking. So that alignment's going to change. People, places, and situations will start falling apart because you are changing, and that vibration does not work for you anymore. Okay? Second, you start attracting new energy, right? Because you're going to have sudden changes, right? You'll show up at one place and they'll tell you have to go to someplace else, and you're like, what? But you go there and you're around the most loveliest people with the most kindest dispositions, and you meet people that help you parlay to the next level in your life. You didn't plan that. The universe heard you, and that's why you're having those changes. Third, and this is a big one, your intuitions starts screaming at you. You hear and feel things, you get inspiration, and that's how you know your intentions are moving towards your goals, because all of a sudden you're inspired. All of a sudden your intuition's talking. All of a sudden your dreams are more prolific. You understand differently, and information flows. Now, with the astrology configuration with Uranus, the sun, all in Gemini, and Mercury, you can't help but right now and talk. You can't help but talk, 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 talk. And it's good, because we need to talk through a lot of things in this world. And our voice is our power. Our presence is our energy. And the universe flows through us. So why disrespect yourself? Why stay in situations that do not make you happy? Even better question, do you know what makes you happy? When you get up in the morning, are you dreading your life, or are you smiling? See, these are the things that the universe gives us, but we have to appreciate them. You know, we have to give thanks for the small stuff. Because if you don't give a hoot about the small stuff, how the hell are you going to appreciate the big rewards? I just want you to think about that. How do you accept something when you poo-pooed everything that led up to it? It's deep. But the beautiful part is the universe is there listening to us and we can make changes anytime we like. So I'm going to ask you to like, follow, and subscribe to both this channel and to my gap report. Okay? I'm about to send one out a little later on today. I've already written it out, but now I got to actually sit here and film it, which is a labor of love. I have to say I have a very charmed life, and I'm very thankful for that life. I get a chance to watch my kids grow, be close to my family and friends, and see beautiful people that are so deserving receive their blessings. So those are the 3 signs. Like, follow, and share. And like I said, if you can't say something nice, just don't say anything. Like the little Dave the servant that was on here earlier, just being naughty for absolutely no reason, because nobody's talking to him if he ain't listening. I'm live every Thursday, as long as there's no holidays, at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And I just want to remind you, you are blessed. All right. Thank you guys for listening today. Remember, Spirit loves you, and I love you, and I'm sending you a lot of love and light. Be blessed. Till next time. Bye.